Jonathan Majors is in some major trouble. Let's talk about it. Hey guys, Brant here with the man, the myth, the Marvel, Will Parker, as we're going to be here to discuss all things Marvel, DC, Lord of the Rings, anime, video games, and more. This time, Jonathan Majors. We finally have some confirmed news about his ongoing issue. Will, what are those issues and what's he looking at here?
Well, Jonathan Major's trial has been, I guess, concluded for the most part. Several news outlets have reported it, and we have Jonathan Majors, who is convicted of third-degree reckless assault and guilty of harassment from the altercation that took place back on the 25th of March in 2023 with his ex-girlfriend Grace Jabari. So all this was deliberated by the jury. It took them about 3 days, about 4 hours of deliberation to come to this verdict. And, he was found not guilty of the additional charges, which was intentional third degree assault and second degree aggravated assault. So, two charges convicted, two charges cleared. But all in all, yeah, like you said, major trouble for Jonathan Majors and just kind of for everything going forward.
And just the way that we're going to address this, let's start with the first diplomatic approach because then we can kind of go and break it down from there. We've seen Disney in the past, they abandoned ship on Johnny Depp. They have abandoned ship on many other actors who've had even a sniff of trouble. The only time that they took a huge risk that really, really paid off for them was your boy, Robert Downey. Do you think they're going to stand behind Majors during this trial, or are they just going to let him drop ship now that he has two convictions on his record?
I think the answer is clear here with everything that has transpired throughout the several months. His story arc has wrapped up nicely within Loki season two. I think it would probably be a good time to go ahead and cut ties with Majors. I mean, we can move on with several other characters throughout the MCU and other things. Variants have been shown to be, of course, not just the same character, but different actors, different faces, whatever the case may be. Honestly, we don't need Majors as much as I do love his talent as an actor. I do not condone, of course, of his treatment of women, I guess, that have been involved in the situation. So, of course, if justice is served and he'll get whatever sentence that the court deems necessary, that is fine. But he needs to go ahead and step away from this stuff, just like he's already stepped away from his own agency and several other projects. But he was still, I guess, tied into this one. Yeah, Disney just needs to go ahead and let that go and move on to something else.
And I wholeheartedly agree with you. There, in today's day and age, there's absolutely no space, no room, or any even amount of sniff of danger of anything along these lines should be allowed or tolerated. I don't care what talent you bring to the table in whatever respective field you have. You need to treat everyone with certain levels of respect. And sure, both sides of the story weren't all necessarily heard. However, there was enough for a jury of his peers to convict him of guilty of two charges. That's enough for me. He needs to be cut roll, and Disney needs to move on with what they have going, which now leaves a major hole in our vacuum as far as villainy is concerned for their next upcoming arc. And I know the MCU has been kind of a hodgepodge of plug and plays ever since Thanos has been bested. Moving forward, my name says it. I know exactly what camp I want to be in. I know who should be coming up for the Fantastic Four, and I know exactly the guy I want. I want Doctor Doom. A close second would be of a Galactus style nature. You're the Marvel expert here. I'm more of just fanboying on here because Doom in the comics is that guy. Where would you like to see the MCU go now that we're basically going to take that pivot away from the one and the only Jonathan Majors?
Well, I'm not a super big fan of recasting. Again, if circumstances, make way for it and it needs to happen, by all means, it happens. But as far as this goes, we've already got movies slated as the Kang Dynasty and stuff like that, so they're going to have to make some title changes and make some Definitely a whole lot of script changes to set it up, but Doctor Doom would be the way to go. I would actually like to see Doctor Doom and Galactus because you can kind of play off of what happened with stuff in the comics as well as the original Fantastic Four movies. Because I wouldn't be surprised if they bring some actors back for cameos at some point. But you can literally set up to where they're facing off against Doctor Doom, and Doctor Doom is not one to be messed with. So I could see them eventually facing off with Doctor Doom, and Doctor Doom was just like wrecking shop. And the only reason that they're able to survive is because Galactus is coming in, so like that. So Doctor Doom, of course, is going to protect his own. Not only is he going to take out whoever Avengers are, now he's going to focus his efforts on Doctor Doom. And the Fantastic Four and Doctor Doom have worked together on several occasions as necessary. So we could see something to that effect where they're all kind of taking out everybody, and Doctor Doom gets banished, so to speak, or he's kind of lost to everything.
He
But
goes back to Latveria and decides he doesn't want to be involved for the time being because he's like, I got my own pet projects. I don't need
yeah,
what's going on right here.
well, he gets a lot like Doctor Doom gets magic at certain points of the comics and other things like that. So you could literally have him kind of knocked off into space, and he has to find his way back. And you could that way you could literally have Doom not necessarily be bested, so to speak, because it's Doom. Doom is fantastic. He's one of my favorite villains. I think he really is my favorite, Marvel villain of all time. So having him out there, so like that, and then just Galactus dealt with, and then whatever other threats they want to come their way. Because we got stuff, we got Young Avengers, all but confirmed. Like there's all the people are there. We've got the building for it. We just don't have the title actually put in. There's things happening right now, and I can already see kind of a shift with going because it didn't look like they were going the Young Avengers route for a second, but now with the latest movies, they definitely are leaning in that direction. So I don't know if script changes were already kind of in the works. They're trying to figure stuff out, or if this was already a pre-planned thing.
Because I mean, there's a lot to speculate on here, and a wild card that I would put out there is an actor that they already cast, and he's done a fantastic job in this role. And I know he'll be coming back into the fold once Daredevil makes his return. We could see Kingpin make some kind of upgrade to make him a more formidable force than he is, because Spider-Man heads know Kingpin ain't really one to mess with on most occasions. He's not your everyday villain, but as far as a start for the Young Avengers, I can see that ongoing here because as far as power scaling is concerned, because let's be honest here, comic book fans power scale all the time. The Avengers that we had before and the Avengers we have now, old school was a lot stronger. You brought in a lot more magic and you've got a little bit more well rounded, but as far as the versatility of the old team, you were able to fight someone like Thanos. With the Avengers we have in place now, I'm a little skeptical of like where they're going to be able to fit everyone in properly. But anyone along the line of Doom, Galactus, Kingpin, there's so many great names and so many people that you brought on to make this happen. Everything with Majors sucks because he was a good actor, but this is due process and he was found guilty. We have to move forward. We need to find a replacement. And truth be told, the project that he was supposed to blow everyone away on. Ant-Man kind of sucked. And
Yeah,
it kind
dude.
of took a lot of flair, a lot of fluff, a lot of steam out of him, as where Thanos, every time we saw him, we knew things were going to pop off. And when they did, oh boy, what a time it was for the MCU. And I hope that they can rebound from this moving forward with a great casting and they'd be able to get all the pieces in place. Because right now, the Kang Dynasty looks very, very bleak. I wouldn't be surprised if that project got scrapped or they just went with a variant and moved along that way and just kept it pushing. Any
Yeah.
other thoughts you have on this right now?
No, Loki's got it right now. Like I think just with the ending of Loki season 2, they can just kind of close that up altogether. Like they don't have to make any other references to it if they didn't want to, or if they wanted to, very minor. But again, he's got the timeline. The timelines are wrapped up in a nice little bow right now. All that stuff can remain trapped and closed off, so to speak, and then we can focus on other threats. Again, street level heroes, street level villains, and then we can get to the bigger things. So you can have two projects kind of going on one. Street level dealing with stuff over here, bigger, threats and stuff are dealt with over here with actual Avengers and stuff. And yeah, we'll go from there and rock out the rest of the MCU.
Hopefully, the MCU takes a turn for the positive. Loki was a great turn in the right direction for him. Will they keep it moving forward? Hopefully. And, well, as we all know, Majors is on his way out. That being said, be sure to hit that lovely red subscribe button. Greatly helps the channel out. We are on our quest for 1,000 now. Thank you so much for 500 plus. Appreciate y'all. We'll see you in the next one.